Okay, so this place might look like a lot of grass and old rocks, but believe it or not, this is an old gym. This is where all the Olympians, all the athletes would get, as my husband likes to call it, jacked up. They would just cover themselves in oil and dust, believe it or not, to protect themselves from the sun. And this is where they would wrestle, they would lift weights, they would bathe back there. It's kind of cool, right? Now, I don't know about you, but training is not my favorite part of athletics. I hated two-a-days for volleyball when I was in high school. It was my least favorite part, right? But believe it or not, unfortunately, though it was my least favorite part, it was probably the most important part, right? Because when you train, that's when you learn. That's when you grow. I think that's probably why Paul talks a lot about training in the Bible. Paul, in one of his letters, because you know he wrote like 100 billion letters, not that many, but you know what I'm saying. He wrote a letter to his friend Timothy, his younger friend Timothy, and he was trying to tell Timothy the way to live. And one of the greatest verses in one of his letters to Timothy was this. He said, athletic training, physical training, is of some value, but godly training, being godly, that has value for everything in life. So I just want to encourage you, if you're just struggling right now with the God thing, if you don't know where you are, if you're bored with God, if you don't feel God no matter where you are, I want to encourage you to keep on training, okay? I know it's hard, I know it's not the fun part, but I promise it brings on victory. It brings the fun part, the actual race. It brings the adrenaline. It brings you to a whole new level with God if you keep the training up. So keep it up. I'm proud of you. And let me know some ways you're training at home when it comes to your relationship with God, okay? At the revolvetour.com. I'd love to hear your ideas. Thanks for hanging out with me.